Welcome to the 34th
Can't even get that right.
edition of the Community Bite Podcast. Me, your humble host, Tito, BCD, known by many names. We also have Xuelder.
Hashtag garbage must be destroyed.
God damn it. We also have Ryaene.
Hello.
And we also have the man, the myth, the legend, Vendeta.
That's me.
Wait, but I thought the man, the legend, was his dad.
No, it's Dan the man.
It's Dan the man. He's a dude. His dad is like so like Vendetta is like Jesus, and then his dad is God. Like that's the analogy I'm gonna use. I hope you don't mind.
If you say so.
Yeah, I hope you don't mind. Welcome to the 34th edition of the podcast. I forgot to update everyone on trivia night, where Vendetta just kicked my ass.
As expected.
Yes, I did.
But no, not expected, because it was about football.
As expected.
But no.
Look, I grew up in a sports family.
I know, but you played Mass Effect in your room all day.
I do. Well, right now I'm playing Halo.
Yeah, sorry, you played Halo. You played Mass Effect and Halo in your room all day. I actually somewhat watched sports, and I lost still.
Hey, I've had to sit through plenty of OSU football games, so.
Yes, I understand. You do go to OSU, and you go to one of the best football schools in the country. Like, nah, I'm good.
Still haven't been to a game. Don't have any tickets to go to any of the games.
You're a freshman.
No, you can get tickets if you're a freshman.
Wait, freshman in college or freshman in high school?
High school.
College.
I knew it.
Make some more.
Yes, I am 7.5. My name's also Tyrone, and my cousin is Luna Glue.
God damn it. So, to get us started, I thought I would bring a topic back from the death. Because everyone tried to shut me down.
Not be Carthage.
No, it's not Carthage.
For the right reasons.
No.
We're gonna shut it down again?
No. I don't know how to say this. I've been suppressed. My rights have been suppressed.
Rightfully so.
I don't have freedom of speech here. That's what I'm trying to say. On my own podcast, I don't have a freedom of speech.
Hashtag no lives matter.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going to bring a topic.
Including, especially yours.
I'm going to talk about something very near and dear to my heart that I haven't talked about. I haven't talked about this in 24 podcasts. I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear anything. Let's talk about our favorite comic book storylines.
Oh.
Alright, so my topic.
Can't help you there.
I don't know. I've read The Walking Dead. I know Injustice. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So
the Spider-Man's pretty good.
The reason I bring this up is because I watched today the Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2 today.
Boo.
Which is
Never seen it.
It's based on a comic book by Frank Miller. It's considered one of the best comic book storylines of all time.
I know of the comic book that spawned it because that was the one that started the mature comics, didn't it?
Yeah, basically. Well, Watchmen technically, but
Watchmen's good.
Besides the point.
So how was the Adventures of Crazy Steve?
So The Dark Knight Returns is really good because it's about Batman and how old he's old and he retired and he's like, I'm done being Batman, but not really because Batman's actually psychotic and just because this is the thing. People think Batman is the mask and Bruce Wayne is the man. No, that's not true. It's Bruce Wayne is the mask, Batman is the man. And that brings into light in Dark Knight Returns. He goes back into being Batman and he's been gone for 10 years and he's just he's kind of like an alcoholic and he's what do I do with my life? I don't have anything to do.
I'm just going to say one thing to this statement, BCD. Batman Beyond did it better.
The Batman Beyond movie is a great movie.
Where the Joker Returns, yes, is a very good movie.
That was a good movie. Is that the one where he's
the storyline, especially with the the quote-unquote series finale that happened in season 2 of Justice League, or season 3, I don't know, whatever.
Look, Batman Beyond is great. Don't get me wrong. Batman Beyond, I love that storyline. But it has
Also,
nothing...
Frank Miller has kind of destroyed all of his good.
No, see, the thing is, he hasn't destroyed The Dark Knight Returns because it's a complete story. It's like, it's over. Like, after it's done, it's done. Like, he hasn't touched that.
The
like,
Dark Knight Returns.
So good. So good. I love that. So, I wanted to...
That wasn't good.
Since comic books... We don't have a comic book movie coming out right now, right? I don't believe so.
Well, they're filming Infinity War soon.
Yeah, well, Logan's going to come out in March at some point.
And then Guardians of the Galaxy comes out in May.
Yes, we're all excited for that. So I was wondering, what have been your favorite moments from the comic book movies that we've watched? I assume we've watched them all. Because we're a bunch of nerds here and we just watch them all.
I've actually only watched the Nolan Batman movies.
That's fine.
And the early Marvel movies. So I'll go with The Dark Knight.
Yeah, that's what I say. That's your favorite. Why is The Dark Knight your favorite? Out of the early Marvel movies and The Dark Knight, why is The Dark Knight your favorite?
It's a good movie. And I like Chris Nolan.
Vendeta, come on. You can do this.
I don't know. It takes itself more serious.
No, yes, it does. It does take itself more seriously.
I don't know. I'm pretty simple to please.
We know that, trust me. It is very simple, and it's much more grounded Batman. I will say, though, the problem with I love The Dark Knight in the Nolan verse, the Christopher Nolan verse.
What is the problem?
The problem is that it's not the Batman I like. It's a goody two-shoes Batman to an extent. He's not like... See, the thing is... I like a darker Batman where he's like breaking collarbones, but they're still living, so they're still okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So because that's what he is in Dark Knight Returns. He's literally like breaking collarbones, just breaking legs, and just taking names and kicking ass. Dark Knight Returns.
What's your favorite?
Me? I've said it multiple times. Dark Knight Returns.
Say it again.
Dark Knight Returns. Dark Knight Returns.
For sure, yeah.
One more time.
Dark Knight Returns Part 2.
Come on, one more time. Come on, I'm almost finished.
This is the Tito talks about Batman for an hour podcast.
Specifically, Dark Knight.
This is why we told him not to talk about this anymore.
Dark Knight Returns Part 2, the Batman vs Superman scene.
Guys, you guys know what the real best Batman movie is, right?
Batman and Robin.
No, it's the 1966 Batman film starring Adam West.
Yes. Absolutely, I agree.
Correct.
Why, Xuelder? Well, tell me why.
I think Maggie Gyllenhaal. No, she's a dog. You
know what? I actually like 1960s Batman. I love the TV series. I love Adam West. It was fun. It was camp. It's a movie you can take your kids to and not have them feel like idiots. Unlike Schumacher. No, I don't have kids.
Schumacher. God damn it.
Unlike Schumacher's Batman films, which were just stupid.
Are you saying Keaton is stupid? Michael Keaton is Batman?
No, I said
he was better as
Schumacher films. Not the 1989 Batman and not the Batman... What was it?
Christopher Nolan Batman?
Batman Returns. Batman 1989 Batman Returns, the Nolan films, and hopefully...
Do you really think the Nolan films make you feel stupid?
No, I'm saying those are good films. I'm saying Batman Forever, Batman and Robin were crap.
Batman and Robin. With George Clooney and the guy from the Fast and Furious series.
That one was bad. What was the one... The Nightmare on Elm Street... Nightmare Before Christmas. What's his name?
Tim Burton.
The Tim Burton Batman I thought was pretty good.
It was interesting.
I think it was a good take on it.
Tim Burton was 89 and Batman 89 and Batman Returns. Yeah.
Dude, Dude, whoever plays Catwoman in Batman is so good. Like, oh my god. So, Xuelder, besides 1989 Batman, what is your favorite comic? Or 1960 Batman, what is your favorite ones?
Comic book movie?
Or comic book comic book storyline in general.
There's so many to pick from. The original Old Man Logan was great. let's see. But if I had to go with anyone, it definitely wasn't Civil War. It definitely wasn't the Skrull invasion. You can tell I read Marvel comics.
Yeah, I can tell.
Brightest Day was great because it brought back John Constantine into the main DC universe.
From what? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I apologize.
God damn it, dude.
I'm sorry. Just
Day.
Worst host.
I know. Brightest Day. That's Marvel, obviously.
No, that was
Green Lantern. Green Lantern.
That was the follow-up to Darkest Night, the Darkest Night thing, and I only like it because it brought back Swamp Thing and it brought back Constantine back into the the mainstream DC universe.
Darkest, dude. Shout out to what do you guys think is like the unsung hero of like comic books in general? Because like
unsung hero,
to me, I mean like you said, Darkest Night, and the Green Lantern. Green Lantern is I feel like Green Lantern is a very unsung hero of DC Comics. So,
Which is funny because
because he's boring.
What do you mean Green Lantern is boring?
What?
Have you heard the explanation that Green Lantern is boring because he has a ring that can make anything he wants, yet he always just makes a giant fist?
Yeah, pretty much.
He likes fisting, dude. What's wrong with you?
And on top of that, the Green Lantern core series from 2008 to 2015, there were at any one time 8 different series based off of Green Lantern. Not the hero Green Lantern, just Green Lanterns. It was insane. There was an inundation of Green Lantern comics, and none of them were good.
So you know Green Lantern in and out, right? Not in and out. You have an above average knowledge of Green Lantern. Was that safe to say?
Not really.
Not really. Okay. Well,
I know their weakness. I know about their weakness to yellow. I know Orange Lantern is the greatest.
Specifically yellow.
Mine.
Oh, dude, when fucking what's his name gets the orange ring by accident? Oh, that's so awesome.
Oh, Lex Luthor.
He gets the orange ring? No, I thought
during the Lantern Corps Wars, he gets a orange. They accidentally create another Orange Lantern ring, and he actually he's like, yes, because I am the greediest person in the universe. I get my own Orange Lantern ring.
No, what's one of the main Green Lanterns gets an orange ring, I thought.
No, none of the orange. There's only one Orange Lantern at a time, and it's Lord Fleece, because the entire point of the Orange Lantern Corps is
there's only one, yeah.
Yeah, because you can only have one because they're all greedy sons of bitches.
Yeah, and they become greedier with whatever. They become greedier with whatever. I don't know, whatever. So why is there so many Earth Green Lanterns? That's the question. There's 3.
Because Earth is
or 4? Is there 4? 3 or 4?
Guy Gardner.
He's an asshole. People he's he's not an asshole, but he's Guy Gardner is a.
No, he's an asshole. He's just not a dick.
He's not a villain, but he's just an asshole. He's cocky and whatever.
No, there's 5 Green Lanterns.
Kyle Rayner's one. Kyle Rayner.
Alan Scott, Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner, John Stewart, Kyle Rayner.
Who the fuck is Alan Scott?
The original Green Lantern from the 1930s.
I've never heard of him before.
Yeah, I've never heard of him before. I'm the DC guy, and I've never heard of him before.
Oh, wow, yeah, no, he's 1940, first appearance.
What about the girl one that's in DC Rebirth right now? There's a girl one right now.
Oh, the new one, yeah. I haven't been reading DC Rebirth.
I forget her name, too.
Who's?
Jessica Cruz, apparently.
Oh, 2 new ones. Oh, so that's the new girl, yeah, I guess so.
I really want them to bring Jon Stewart back as more of a...
Dude, yeah, Jon Stewart, I'm sorry, he's the best Green Lantern.
I agree.
Fact.
I have little knowledge of Green Lantern, but from what I watched on Justice League and some of the comics that I've seen, he seems like a really good Green Lantern, opposed to Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan is pretty
Hal Jordan's like Captain America to me.
Yeah.
He's just goody two shoes kind of guy, and then Jon Stewart's not conflicted, but he's just yo, I'll do some shady shit on the side.
He does what has to be done.
Exactly, just like Batman.
Just like Batman.
Yeah, exactly. It all comes around, dude.
That's my problem with some of the comics lines that I've
A
lot of them try to emulate Batman these days. Like,
Hal Jordan in the Doom Justice League is so good. Like he's just like kind of like cocky, and he asks like Batman's like, "So what's your power?" And he's like, "I don't have any powers." And he's like, "So you're just a guy in a bat suit?" And he's like, "Yeah."
I've seen that. Yeah,
that is pretty good.
I was just like, dude, yes, that's exactly what I would say.
So, one of the best comics out there right now, I think, is the Valiant print comics, which have the greatest superhero duo ever, Quantum and Woody.
From DC?
Comics.
Oh, Valiant
Comics. Yeah, they have a bunch of they have like their own shared universe. It was a reboot back in 2012 after someone bought all the original IPs when the comic went defunct back in the late 90s, I think. But they have stuff like Quantum and Woody where these two got like.
Where's my Booster Gold comic? That's the question.
Huh?
Where's my Booster Gold comic? That's the question.
Booster Gold. I think I saw it in an episode of Batman: The Brave and the Bold.
Dude, Booster Gold, my boy.
Hold on, I'm echoing up with somebody.
He and the original, the third Blue Beetle, or the original Blue Beetle, or whatever you want to call them, were the best bros ever.
Ryaene, what's your favorite comic book storyline?
Watchmen.
Watchmen? Yeah, Watchmen's fantastic.
Sorry, what?
No, I was gonna say it's like Watchmen. Like in my opinion, it's just like it's so perfect because it's a closed story. Like you don't know much about the universe, and you just like it doesn't tell you right up front, and it's just like this is just the deal, and you gotta go with it. And you're like, okay, I'm here for the ride. Let's go.
Yeah, it's for me, like every moment of the comic book and even the movie, which is absolutely perfect.
Oh, I think it's honestly the movie is as fantastic as the comic book is. It's better. The movie is better. The director's cut. The director's cut is so good.
That's one of the examples of a fucking movie being better than, like, almost or being better than the source material. It's just how the for me, I don't know. The movie was the pacing. They paced it just right.
Yeah. Like, and they changed the ending because it was like the ending would not have worked in the movie. I'm sorry, like because you need some sort of reality.
I agree.
I think the ending works in a comic book, but the ending does not work in a movie. And a lot of people had a problem with that. Not to spoil a movie that came out 5 years ago.
Way more than 5 years ago.
Watchmen was like,
that's right. They came out my freshman year of high school, I think. God,
Watchmen, the comic came out in
84.
And then the movie came out like 2009. Yeah, so it's like, it's 8 years old, man.
Sophomore year of high school.
It's so good. I've watched it so many times. I've had like viewings with my friends who have never heard of Watchmen before. I completely turn them to my.
I never heard of it before watching the movie. Honestly, like
86, 87 was the original run of Watchmen.
Honestly, Rorschach is like I jizz over Batman. Don't get me wrong.
Oh.
But like Rorschach to me is like such a better like hero in my opinion. Well, not a hero. He's not really a hero, but like.
Yeah.
By the way, and now the question turned to Rorschach.
The Rorschach is a better Batman than Batman is, basically, in my opinion. Like it that doesn't make sense, but just like Rorschach as a character is like his mom was a prostitute. Like, oh my god.
Well, the scene where he bites the kid's like cheek off is amazing.
I'm just like, dude, you're fucking insane.
Dude, that whole issue where the psychologist tries to go into his brain and then just loses his faith in humanity.
He's like, Jesus.
That's one thing from the comics that I wish had made in the movie is in the comics after that encounter with Rorschach, the psychologist went home and basically reevaluated his entire life.
Jesus Christ. He's like, what's the point of living, guys?
Basically, yeah. Rorschach killed any hope we had.
Well, I mean, Rorschach's had a shitty life. I mean...
Oh, 100%.
All right.
So
One last comic book thing for me.
Yeah.
Saga. Just read it.
Oh, dude. Saga is nuts, dude. I've been starting to get into it because I got my Comixology subscription and it's free with that. So if anyone who is like at least getting who is interested in comics at all and like Comixology, you get $5.99. You get like a whole bunch of comics for free. It's not for free, but like it's a subscription service, and you get like a whole bunch of comics.
You get more for the price of like what, one?
Yeah, like instead of going to a comic book store and paying $3.99 over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You just you can do that, and it's so much better.
Earlier you said you asked who we thought the unsung heroes of the comic book world is. I gotta go Moon Knight on that one.
Moon Knight. I mean, I don't know much about it, but I heard he's like God's like, and like he's Marvel. No, he's Marvel.
He's Marvel. He's Marvel's. He's been described as Marvel's Batman, but basically the summary of him is he was a criminal who had a near encounter with death, but was visited by a god named Krishnu or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, like I remember hearing. I watched like a Valiant Comics. Like there's a YouTube channel called Valiant Comics or something. He's like God's person or like
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't
Defender
know.
or like a Avenger or something. But he's mentally unstable, even 10 times more so than Batman, to the point where he has like multiple personalities to help him cope with the things he's done. And I remember correctly, he kills people, but he'll like carve, I want to say an M into their forehead. He carves something into their forehead, and it's a crescent. That's right. He carves a crescent into their forehead. That's his thing, and he's just fucking crazy.
Dude, because why not? That's why.
Basically, I want to see him adapted into a movie or
that'll never happen. That'll never happen. I'm sorry.
No.
Netflix original series.
It's too niche. Well,
Maybe that.
Yeah, maybe that. But like, it's too niche. Like, you know what I mean? Moon Knight's like he's not even like D tier Marvel. Like
no,
he's like very not like in the forefront of things.
You have to kind of dig around to get to him.
He's not even in the Civil War, is he? Is he in the Civil War?
I don't.
In Civil War 1. He might be in Civil War 2, which I've heard is god awful. I heard Civil War 2 is just terrible.
Civil War. I couldn't imagine him. Yeah, I was about to say I couldn't imagine him allying with the other side, but apparently it says on his wiki that he allied with neither side.
So I think we've done our. I'm done with comics for the next 20 episodes. No more comic talk for next 20 episodes.
Thank goodness.
But before we leave, just so we can just revive the comic book industry, recommend one comic book that people should read before, like a new comic ish. So you did Saga, Ryan. Saga, whatever.
And I said Saga.
Sorry, Xuelder. Saga. You said Saga.
And
why
are people calling it Saga? It's Saga.
It's Saga.
It's Sega.
Sega.
It's Sega. They made Sonic, right? That's their thing.
Sega.
Sega.
You mispronounced
Sonic?
I mean, seriously.
Sonic the comic. I can't wait.
It's
so
the
good.
comic book about Sonic and friends. It's perfect.
I would recommend all new Green Arrow, the Green Arrow DC, the new DC line of Green Arrow is so good. It's so good. Go read it. Very good. Rand, do you have a recommendation?
I'll just recommend Moon Knight because I'm pretty sure he has new stuff coming out.
Yeah, probably.
I'd like for people to become more well aware of him because he's fucking crazy and he's probably one of their best crafted stories.
Vendetta. Recommend anything that you can give us.
Recommend anything? I mean, CVS is a pretty good store.
Thank you very much.
I don't read comics.
What
about sex criminals?
Sure, go with that.
I don't know.
Or nail biters. Or nail biters. Nail biters is pretty good.
Sure, yeah.
Sex criminals and nail
Batman
biters.
66.
Batman.
I have no idea.
Yes. New 52 Batman.
Yes, that.
That. Okay. Vendetta.
Injustice Superman.
Yeah. Since Vendetta, you were completely ignored. This whole
That's
topic.
fine.
Your topic is next.
Oh, well, over this weekend, in the past week, I've been playing a lot of Halo. And, I've been playing the Master Chief Collection, which has so many achievements that I'm just wondering if I'm ever actually going to complete all of them. But I think I'm going to be able to do it if I just work at it and spend the next 10 months of my life doing anything in this game. So I was wondering what everybody's, like, greatest video game achievements were.
Oh,
ever.
I don't know.
because like just looking through the list of these, I think if I complete this, it will be the hardest thing I've ever done in a video game ever.
It might be. For me, it might actually be a Halo thing. My friend and I, a few years ago, went through every single Halo game on Legendary with, except for Halo Combat. Well, no, it was the Anniversary Edition, so we had the Iron Skull on for every single level. But even then, on Halo 2, if you're on Legendary, the same fucking thing applies. You still restart at the very beginning, or at the beginning of each checkpoint, if one person dies.
Oh, really? Even on co-op?
Even on co-op. In fact, that's what makes Halo 2 probably the hardest one for co-op.
Ugh. Because right now I'm just dreading doing the lasso challenge, and I know I'm gonna have to do them.
Lasso's tough. Yeah. As someone, I own the Master Chief Collection, and I was looking at the achievements one day, because I had all the achievements in Halo 3 on my old account, and I wanted to go back and get all of them. But it's like, one, they changed, like, every achievement. A lot of them aren't even worth going after, because they're not like, hit a man with a mongoose and kill him. It's not something fun like that. It's get 50 kills with this weapon, or kill 50 grunts. I don't really care for that.
Dude, you should log in one day and help me boost achievements in the multiplayer so that I can get 100%.
Possibly. I think I still have an Xbox Live subscription.
Because there's a couple achievements that, like, even if I just played the game for 1,000 hours, I don't think I could ever get. Because there's some of them that are get 100 legendary medals, which are like Killionaires or Perfections or triple doubles, which I've gotten one triple double ever, and it was in Halo 5. And that's hard to get.
What's a triple double?
You have to get 10 headshots, 10 assists, and 10 kills in one game.
10 headshots, 10. That, yeah, what the fuck was that?
That's my roommate. Sorry.
Oh.
You cut that out.
No, I might be able to. I've never heard of a triple double before. That's new to me.
I think it's new from the Master Chief Collection, and then they put it in Anniversary and Halo 5.
Huh. I'll check that out.
It's really cool.
Yeah, so my greatest achievement will probably be completing every single Halo game with my friend, and actually getting the achievements too.
Yeah, so far mine's been completing Halo 3 on Legendary in one day, which I've done twice at this point.
Beating Bioshock 2 on hard.
So the best Bioshock on hard, yeah.
Yeah, beating Bioshock 2 on hard, or whatever the hardest difficulty on Bioshock 2 was.
What wasn't like 1993 mode or something like that?
Yeah, that was on the new one.
That was Infinite. 1998 mode.
Yeah, 98 mode. No, the
99.
best Bioshock 2. Beating that on the hardest mode was just like such a it made playing the game so worth it. You know what I mean, Vendetta?
Yeah.
It made that game was so good. The graphics, the storyline, the gameplay. I mean, people say there's no such thing as a perfect game, but then they play Bioshock 2.
Exactly. Bioshock 2 is the perfect game. Shut up, Wes.
You people are crazy. I don't want to be on this podcast anymore.
I'm kidding. We're just trolling John. John fucking hates.
Too bad John doesn't listen to this.
Yeah.
Someone send John a link to this.
No. We have a tradition. Everyone who's listening or who's participating, everyone at John Badams right now and say Bioshock 2 is the best game ever. He'll be so happy. At John Badams, Bioshock 2 is the best game ever.
I'm gonna make him. There we go. That might actually.
And now that we've alienated John,
Twist in one was just plain stupid.
Can I change my answer?
Sure,
Sure.
Be very short. My greatest achievement was in Halo. It was actually the day I beat Dark Souls.
Oh, Dark Souls 1?
Dark Souls 1. Specifically, the day I beat Ornstein and Smo. That was one of the fucking I spent hours trying to beat it by myself, and I finally did, and I felt like a champion.
I can agree with that. That's a good one. It took forever for me because I put it down and came back about a month or two later. But I don't know. I've played so much Dark Souls and so much more Halo
Fun fact, I'm literally playing Dark Souls right now.
Yeah, it says you're playing Dark Souls 2 right now. I'm trying to play Halo, the Master Chief Collection, and garner some achievements, but I have to be on push to talk.
Dude, are you doing Play Anywhere?
Me right now?
Yeah. Are you?
No, I have an Xbox One right there.
Oh, okay. Is Master Chief Collection Play Anywhere?
No. Or wait, actually, I think it is. I think you can. Oh no, it isn't. But you can stream it to PC.
Really?
Stream it to
Yeah,
PC?
I've heard that's how some people boost achievements when they have 360 controllers. Is that they stream to their PC and then use wired 360 controllers.
Oh man, I might do that.
Interesting.
Not for the boosting,
Yeah.
just like in general. That sounds really convenient.
Yeah,
So
I've never done it.
my
So,
two
what is your greatest gaming achievement?
All right, I actually have. It's a tie for 3. Two of them are. One of them's like a very short thing. The other 2 are better. So when I was 5 years old, my brother and I had a video game called Mega Man 3.
Oh man,
Oh,
it's when they used to make games hard, right?
It's when they made games hard, yes. So we kept playing that, and Snake Man stage kept killing us.
Snake Man.
My brother and I spent a whole 10 to 12 hours just one Saturday trying to beat it. And we finally did it, and that was one of the most satisfying things in our lives. It finally took us discovering GameFAQs online. So this was, if I was 5, this was 97. This was when GameFAQs was first around. We found out about the cheat code to get us 9 E-tanks at the beginning of the game. And we needed every single one of those.
Hey man, I ain't gonna lie. The only reason I'm ever gonna beat Crash Bandicoot is the cheat code that just gives you a ton of lives.
The 99 lives.
I think so. Or it was the one that just skipped me through half the game because I was like, I'm already been here. I'm not playing through the rest of this game because I can't beat this one level. Fuck this.
Can we agree that
Alright.
Crash Bandicoot's like kind of overrated? Kind of overrated.
No.
I never
Shut your
played
mouth.
It's a good
I,
game, not like a legendary game.
yeah, I like it, but I never had.
I mean,
much
like
of an
it's
attachment to
glorified Mario. I mean, I'm sorry.
It's
like,
good.
It was okay. I never really played it.
Yeah.
It's PlayStation's Mario. It's good enough.
Yeah, I don't have. I don't have
I'm
much of an
not-
attachment to it.
I'd
Alright,
say it's
so-
great for the time, but like playing it now, it's just like okay.
Hey, maybe they're remastering.
I've yet to finish any of them because they're really hard, and when I did play them, I was super young and not good at
I
them.
mean, in my opinion, Spyro is better.
So I was gonna say Spyro. I have an attachment to Spyro.
I also have Spyro, and I've yet to finish that.
Spyro's hard.
Spyro is
so-
Spyro is better in my opinion.
Ooh,
But
fight.
so yes, I don't know if I actually said my greatest achievement is beating Bioshock on like very hard. Bioshock's such a
Alright.
hard. Bioshock like on normal is super hard.
I could never like. I had to have back when I played it. When I was still young. I had to
Bioshock
have,
was easy. What are you talking about?
Bioshock was hard. Are you?
which it's fun. It's actually funny because it was hard. It was really hard to the point where I had to have my brother help me beat some levels. But I ended up beating Bioshock Infinite like 2 years ago on the hardest difficulty.
No, Bioshock
and then,
Infinite.
and then on 1999 mode, yeah. So I don't know if the difficulty decreased.
All right, you guys want to know?
I got better.
I was gonna do 2 of them. One of them was my 20-hour raid in Destiny from the Wrath of the Machine raid.
20 hours?
Yeah, we were one of the first people to beat the raid.
Oh my god.
Damn,
That's so much. This is why I can't play
That's-
World of Warcraft.
that's
Because like, you have
amazing.
raids like that, and I'm just like absolutely not.
Also, my friends are idiots, so they can't play worth of shit. Anyways, the greatest achievement was beating Dark Souls with the Limbo mod.
You
Limbo
did it.
mod.
Really?
That is
Oh, so it's
I
just
don't know
like
what that
black and white.
bad. So it's all monochrome, black and white.
God, why would you do that to
because-
yourself?
Because Dark Souls wasn't
Because
hard
he
enough.
because he can.
Zuru, you make games, so games
Wow,
are easy to you.
That's impressive. I've
Because
seen.
when I play Dark Souls, if I die more than 5 times, I erase the character and start all over again.
What?
Damn, dude.
Because obviously that was a shitty build and I need to start over.
Oh, my
Damn,
God.
man.
dude.
Damn, you're fucking hardcore,
I dig it.
dude. So,
I've
yeah,
died far more
Xuelder's a
than 5 times.
masochist, confirmed. He just likes punishing himself playing games.
It's
That's
Kinda-
a sadist.
I
not a
assume.
masochist.
Whatever.
Masochist is the one that does punishment BCD.
Sorry, so you like I'm glad you're correcting me. You like to punish yourself.
So like,
And punishing myself is self-flagellation. You would know this if you played the most recent DLC of Dark Souls.
Ashes of Arendelle.
Yes.
The fucking final fight. Oh my god, that was. I didn't play it, but I watched a streamer beat the entire DLC in a night.
There you go.
And just watching.
Yeah, I heard it was really short.
Took one death.
Yeah, but like just
for me.
one thing that kind of bothered me about it was the fact that Dark Souls 3. Like, I don't know how I feel about tiered fights. Like, all right, so you don't get like any time. Like, I imagine it does make it harder, but I feel like in that kind of game, it would just make it more tedious.
The reason why I had the one death in the DLC was because I wasn't expecting that fight to be the final fight to be a 3-tiered fight. So I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? I had to do an Ember at the beginning of the fight. I didn't do an Ember on this fight. God damn it.
Wasn't the Nameless King like 2 tiers and that was it?
Yeah, it was first round. He did all the moves from the previous 2 player characters of Dark Souls, and then the second tier he became Gwyn.
No, that's not the Nameless King. The Nameless King is the Sky guy, right?
Oh no, that's the guy. That's the guy on the dragon. That's pretty much Gwyn's son that was erased from history.
Oh,
I still refuse to believe that. I still think that it's Xuelder.
What?
Yeah, Xuelder is that guy.
I've read enough. I've read enough of the lore to know that might not be.
You never know, man.
Well, that was our best guess with what information we had from Dark Souls 1 and kind of 2, but now that pretty much it's been confirmed that the Nameless King was the guy who lost his name because the son that lost his name, so yeah.
Spoilers, gee.
Wasn't he the God of War?
The game has been out for a year.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, he's the god. Yeah, the God of War, and then I guess his name was also something involving Gwyn. That guy really fucking loved naming his kids after himself.
Probably.
Lady
King and a god, of course he did.
Gwendolyn. His wife was probably named Gwen.
I was thinking of achievements. I just picked up another one right now for getting the 8 people in Master Chief Collection.
Nice.
Well, I got one of them. I need 2 more, and then I get another achievement.
Yeah, Gwen Jr. I feel like so like it, I kind of agree with what you mean on that earlier Xuelder. With, I mean, after 5 deaths, you start to think, oh, this is a terrible build, and restart. I don't go that far, but I've played enough Dark Souls to feel that I'm pretty damn good at it. So if I start dying, like, if I die like more than 10 times in a fucking run, it pretty much ruins the entire experience for me.
The thing, when I played the original Dark Souls, it was like I wanted to play as a knight who casts spells. So I put a bunch of points into Faith so I could cast Lightning Bolt. But I didn't have enough points in anything else to make me super effective, so that just gimped me for a lot of the game.
I had that issue when I first started too, which resulted in me making a new character and just going. Because when I started, I went deprived, and then I put everything into strength.
Yeah, I just powered through. I eventually did beat the game.
Actually, one of the builds I did, one of my most successful builds was deprived, and all I did was go around and punch stuff. I didn't even use a weapon.
That's what I do in Dark Souls. One of the builds I recently completed the game with is the Bone Fist build, which basically it's a fist weapon, but it makes you into like Ryu from Street Fighter and gives you a similar moveset. And to the point,
one of my first in my first playthrough of Dark Souls 3, I got like within 15 minutes. That was weird.
It's so fun because like you can, if you power stance, if you get in Dark Souls, to power stance, you have to get your stats like dexterity and strength up to a certain level, and you basically master that weapon. Power sensing the Bone Fist lets you cast like a little like fireball that you can shoot at your enemies, just like Ryu from Street Fighter.
Hadouken!
Soryuken!
God damn it.
So I think we ranted about this for a while. Sorry.
No, I was about to yell nerds, but then I was like, we did talk about comics for 20 minutes.
Now you feel like V during the comic book talk.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, another achievement, because you're a loser, BCD. Loser.
Loser. You're a loser.
Baby want a bottle?
Baby want a bottle? Xuelder, topic. Go ahead.
So, some news happened in the indie game scene recently, and I bet y'all have all heard about it and have y'all's own little small world opinions on it. And that is the death of Steam Greenlight. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Steam Greenlight.
I think it'll be better. I don't know about you.
So, Give us. So you are technically an indie developer.
Technically, in the fact that I have a game design document and I've been working on mechanics for the past 2 weeks trying to get an RPG off the ground, yes.
What was your opinion on Steam Greenlight in general?
Steam Greenlight was a screwed up system, but at the same time, it was a screwed up system that there's really no solution to the answer. Like, that's the real answer. There is no solution. It's the devil you know, the devil you don't know, and the devil you don't trust. Because the old way they used to do this was games that necessarily didn't look like they were going to do well were taken off, and then suddenly someone would put it on Kickstarter, and people were like, "Oh, that's a great game idea," and then they would do it. Like something like Papers, Please would have never, under their old curating system when they did it in-house instead of letting it do the public for Greenlight, something like Papers, Please would have never gone through.
Well, wasn't it on the App Store first, or was it on Steam first? Papers, Please was an App Store thing, and then it went.
No, it was a Steam.
Papers, Please was a Steam game, but I'm saying, as an example, something like Papers, Please would have never been through during the old curation process, because no one would think that was a game that would sell. You would go up to a publisher, and they would say, "That game's stupid. It looks good, but it's stupid."
And wasn't Steam Greenlight based on voting, right? It was based on people's voting?
Yes.
Right. The problem was that there was a lot of, and it's still kind of the problem, is shovelware is a major issue, and that's the whole crusade for wanting to change it, replace it, whatever, is the shovelware is bad. Everyone knows about the story of digital homicide, basically.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, what was that stat release that 60 or 70% of all games on Steam were released this year?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. But isn't Digital Homicide the quote unquote development company that releases like 20? They released like 20 poorly made games this year.
Yeah, but they were still making money. The problem is that even if they didn't melt down and sue all their customers, basically
sue all the customers,
and Jim Sterling and all them, they were making a killing. The new proposals that they're what I really want to talk about are the new proposals they're doing. So Steam Direct, the new successor to Steam Greenlight, is basically you got to pay a much higher fee, because I think the current Steam Greenlight fee was somewhere between $50 and $100. Now they talked to developers, and the developers were telling them $100 to $5,000 to get on Steam Direct.
$5,000?
$5,000.
Pretty crazy.
That's a lot of money.
That is a crazy number, especially when you consider that even if you consider the U.S., technically, if you're in the U.S., you can get that money if you get a small business loan or get a successful crowdfunding campaign. But out of the United States, $5,000 is insane. In Poland, where CD Projekt Red is, CD Projekt Red's in Poland, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the equivalent of a year's worth of income for a middle-class family, or for a middle-class worker.
That's a lot of money.
In the United States, that is 1/6 in my local area, which is the New Orleans area. That is 1/6 of a family's income for a 2.5 kid family. Mom, dad, 2.5 kids.
That's nuts. That is a lot. That's.
And for a small indie developer, which is 1 to 3 people, that might be too much money.
Agreed. I agree with that.
And I got into arguments with people all week about this, like, oh, if that's the kind of money, you can totally get that kind of money. I don't know where you're living in California, but $5,000 is a lot of money.
I've noticed that's generally the consensus. Is people are like, no, you can save up for that. I mean, not everyone can save up for that.
Yeah, just tell me to save up. Yeah, that's how.
$5,000 is a lot of money. I'd like to see the people who say that go out and manage to save up $5,000 overnight.
Like, that's the far end. Now, $1,000 is much more reasonable. especially if you're a 3-man team or a 4-man team or a 5-man team. But if you're a single indie dev doing this in your free time, even $1,000 is a lot of money.
I'd like to see how they decide the price. I imagine it's game size.
What's really interesting is one of the if you go to our game dev right now and you look in some of the threads, they're talking about it. And in one of them, let me see. One of the threads actually, one of Valve's internal guys came in and discussed the price with people.
That's,
to be fair, like just to be the devil's advocate, that's the high end, correct?
Yeah, 5,000 is the high end. Low end is $100, which is, I think, the current price of Greenlight.
it is. It's definitely around that number. But that's also
to be clear here, I have yet to release commercially a game, whether it be a school project or an indie project. All I've done has been school projects for my portfolio that have yet to be released on any platform. I've done research, I've done extensive research, but not actual applied my research to a real world situation yet.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm not a game dev, so it doesn't truly affect me. But like just seeing about it, the scary part is the high end is $5,000, but there's also so much middle between the low end and the high end that like $1,000 is reasonable. 2,000 is getting pretty unreasonable. 3,000, that's unreasonable. 4,000, very unreasonable, and 5,000 just is insane.
And most of these game devs are not making money.
No, yeah.
I mean, they maybe are working IT, like maybe at best.
I'm
for indie game devs, like, so I have a very good stats for this. Let me see. So this is someone on our game dev wrote this, and note he did get downvoted to hell for this, but because I think it's something he stayed at rest in this situation. But so out of 100 games published on Steam within a period, 5 are AAA big indies who will not be affected by the $5,000 fee. $15 are by big shovelware publishers who will not be affected by $5,000 fee, which is one of the reasons why people want this to happen is because of the shovelware. 30 are small indies who cannot afford the $5,000 fee, and 50 are by small shovelware publishers who cannot afford the $5,000 fee. Now, is it worth it to make sure that 5 of the 100 games, 5 of those indies that we're going to get in anyways, like the 5 indies that were going to be successful, they weren't going to be sleeper hits. They're just going to be hits in general. They're going to scrape by no matter. They're going to get by no matter what. 15, someone like Digital Homicide would have gone through if they would have stayed if they didn't implode, would have been fined by this. But actual small indie developers who might be saying, I've been making this game for 5 years, I'm releasing it on the side, they're not going to be able to publish games anymore. They're going to have to go to itch.io or find other avenues to publish their game, as in go to publishers or a small business loan.
What about GOG? Are they easy to get into?
I don't think so. I don't know. Like GOG is I've always felt GOG was like CD Projekt Red's version of selling non-DRM games. And I also thought they only sold games that weren't made by CD Projekt Red, that were made before 2005.
I don't know if you know that. Maybe this is a kind of off topic. How much does it take to get into the main stores? Like, how much does it get? Because I know, like, Xbox and PlayStation are like, oh, we want to get into the indie dev scene, blah blah blah. How much does it take to get into, like, to put a game on those stores?
Depends on how big your company is. Then you got to pay. You got to pay a publisher fee. If you have a publisher, you don't have to pay the fees. The publisher pays the fees. That's all part of the contract. If you're doing it by yourself, you got to. I don't know what Microsoft or Sony's or Nintendo's prices are. Steam, it's still the $100.
So instead of going through Greenlight, you could just throw it up there for $100.
yeah, then after there's enough interest for your game, people vote for it, it gets in the store, and then Steam takes a 30% cut of your game for all sales.
Because they're technically the publisher to an extent.
No, because they do that for all games. That's
they do that for all games.
Reason why they take a 30% cut of all sales.
Oh, okay, that's a lot.
Yeah, Valve is making good money.
Valve is making very good money.
Yeah, that's kind of the reason that they've pretty much stopped making games. Is that they don't really need to make games anymore.
They just announced they're making 3.
Well, they
VR
slowed
games.
down. Like think about how many times they released Counter-Strike or a Half-Life.
Well, to be fair, they've never made. Most of the games that Valve has released, they haven't made. They didn't make Team Fortress 2 is.
Well, they didn't make original Counter-Strike. What about Counter-Strike Source?
They
made Counter-Strike Source, I think. They didn't make CS:GO though. They
developed the Source engine to do what?
Yeah.
To run CS:GO.
To run their games, basically. Yeah.
But they don't make games, I would say, as much as they used to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Their releases are slowed down. But hey, like you said,
slowed
3 new VR games.
They're slowed down to 0.
And now they hold out on Dota 2, CS:GO, and
no, not even CS:GO. Dota 2.
The Dota 2.
Dota 2. No.
Just Dota 2. They don't give a shit about CS:GO.
My friend's playing Dota 2 right now.
Oh, and Team Fortress, but they don't give a shit about Team Fortress either.
No, they only care about Dota 2.
V, remember when my friend just shat on you about how bad you are at Dota?
I mean, he's not wrong that I'm bad at Dota. That's the thing.
Dude, that is a hard game.
It is a hard game.
But yeah, so Greenlight. The problem with the Greenlight, and a lot of people are complaining, like, oh, it's not Valve and Steam's job to sell your games. Well, what other platform is there? The Humble store pretty much only gives out Steam keys. GOG is not many people know what GOG is. It's like saying,
what's the one that had the AMA recently, and they just got shat on?
I think that was G2A.
Yeah,
G2A is less of a. G2A, I think, sells keys.
They're a key reseller. They're
they're the GameStop of digital games.
They're like a marketplace where people can sell their own keys on the site and actually make money on it. That's not.
But isn't it shitty? Like, it's kind of shitty.
Yeah, oftentimes a lot of the keys are bought with like stolen credit cards, or they're bought and charged back, and then so people sell them and then make money off of you. Yeah. And I've heard people say that if you buy a key, there's no guarantee that you'll actually get a game.
That's the thing.
I think they sell protection. Like, and you pay $5, and if you don't get a game, then you get your money back, I guess.
But the thing with their protection is, once you get the protection, they've made it incredibly difficult to opt out of it. So like, you have to go through many hoops to cancel their monthly subscription of $5 to protect yourself from getting scammed.
Yeah, that too.
And then there are other actual legitimate like key resellers like cdkeys.com that they're just a marketplace. They're not like GOG or Steam. They're just resellers. Minus the shadiness.
So Xuelder, your definitive opinion. Greenlight leaving us is good and bad.
Yes. It's getting the conversation out to reveal like just how the indie scene is still young, and it's but it's also at the same time people are saying it's naive to think that, oh, if you're not willing to spend $5,000, then you shouldn't be in the indie scene in the first place. But at the same time, the whole point of indie is that you're supposed to make a game on your own and then sell it without having any of these barriers, especially now with the internet. Well, now there's barriers coming up, and we're freaking out about the barriers appearing out of nowhere now.
Just save the money. It's that easy, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's either save the money, or if you didn't realize you needed $5,000 to get on Steam Greenlight or whatever, then you shouldn't have been making your game in the first place. I love how people say that, and then I look at their things and they're like, oh, they work at Activision, or they work at
they have game development
EA,
jobs,
or they have a video. They work for a publisher. The publisher they have a legal department that does it for them.
That's I I have friends that I play Rust and other games with. Two of them are game developers in Texas who started out as indie developers who worked with very small companies that were just starting out making apps for Apple and Android, and finally released a game through Greenlight. So and now that they work at a much larger studio, I find that they still agree that Greenlight is like agree with you on what you say, because they didn't actually start out going to like Activision or EA or one of the larger publishers who have the ability to say, oh no, you should have to spend this amount of money. So I agree. It seems like the people who start off with much larger companies tend to have that opinion.
And then on top of that,
without generalizing,
they're like, oh, and then I guess they talk about, oh well, if you're not marketing your game right, then of course you're not going to be successful on Steam Greenlight. You should have that $5,000 because of this X reason. But I'm like, one of the most viral posts the last 6 months. Y'all remember when that indie game developer said, I spent the last 5 years making a game and we made nothing on it? What was it? I have the game. The Steam game was called Brigador. And the guy actually spent money on marketing, did pretty much everything that every game publisher recommends they do. And it's like, they did everything right, and they bombed. The game was a bomb. It rated well. For the 3 people that rated it, they sent review copies to like 20 different magazines, and then only 3 people reviewed it. They didn't get enough ratings to even have a Metacritic score.
Jesus.
Yes, that's part of that's almost. I don't want to sound like condescending or anything, but sometimes it's just part of the industry where there's just so many games that come out now, so many indie games that you don't hear about that. I don't know, they would prioritize bigger games sometimes, or like you kind of have to wade through it. I could see why.
The market's oversaturated.
And it really doesn't help when games like studios like Digital Homicide releases 10 shovelware games in a week that not only are just shovelware, but they're also
They're just lazy.
They buy all the
the asset flips.
Store. Yeah, that's the exact word I was looking for. Asset flip games. They buy all the assets off of the Unity Store, make a very basic game, and then just flip all the assets and make the game 10 times.
I do have to say though, as somebody who just is part of like a club that just makes games for fun, it's by just using assets that are pre-made and then like developing something around that is just a lot more fun than being like, ooh, I guess we got to divert time to like making art and spend a couple weeks like getting this ready and it won't look any good. It's just better like we made a VR game that had barely any assets in 24 hours that was better than anything I'd ever made in any amount of time. Just because like the assets we had didn't need to be made.
Yeah. Though you are program.
True, yeah.
Someone who does art stuff. One of my games we use programmer art, and my producer called what I did programmer art, and really I was at a job at the time, and I spent half my time at the job, so therefore I can only devote like 10% of my time, and the art assets, the 2D art assets I produced was shitty because I was spending 30 hours a week at my job until halfway through the year, and then I'm like, well, I can't improve the art if I have to stick with this shitty style, or else half the art assets are going to look good, and half of them are going to look bad.
I think that's why I liked developing in VR too, because it's like, hey, I don't need to do a model for the character. Yay, I can just build something around these dumb little handsets.
You mean the Firewatch approach?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Have you ever seen what a Firewatch character looks like?
No, what's it look like?
It looks like, so if you zoom out in the camera, you actually see the hands are like, there's like legs, and then there's these giant hands, and that's it.
It's the easy way, man. It's great.
So, Rand, do you have a topic or?
I mean, The Grammys are going on right now.
They are indeed.
I've never quite been a
more.
fan of the Grammys.
Award shows are pretty weird in general.
Yeah, it seems like I don't know. Like I'm there are a few parts that I'm a little happy about. A few of the songs and artists that I like have won. However,
I will say David Bowie's cleaning shop in The Rock.
fucking, he's won so many awards. Black Star.
I didn't even know.
I love David Bowie. For Christmas, I got the David Bowie Greatest Hits album for my record player.
Ooh,
and vinyl.
that must be nice.
Ooh.
You bringing girls home to that? Playing some David Bowie?
So here's the issue. Black Star isn't good.
Whoa. Whoa, those are fighting words, my friend.
How dare you?
I didn't like Black Star.
How?
I really didn't.
Now, wait, are you... Now, this could help determine why. Are you a fan of jazz?
You like jazz?
You like
I listen to jazz music in the quarter, but that's about it.
It's that album with David Bowie, with all of his albums, they've always taken a new style and built something upon it. Black Star was his most recent and final approach towards that. Except he finally took his shot at jazz. You can tell by listening to it. There's a lot of like jazzy undertones, and he actually had. Trying to remember their name, but he had a very popular New York jazz band come in and record and help record most of the things that most of the sound that was created by him. So I've noticed a lot of people, I actually am friends with people who liked every other album, but Black Star has been their least favorite.
You like jazz?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that you like jazz.
I like jazz.
We're bad people.
I just didn't like it. It's not that it's not good. It's just I didn't like it.
God damn it.
Go on. Go on.
Wait, was it the entire album or just the song Black Star?
I heard that in Lazarus, and those were really the only two songs I heard on the album.
I mean, you should definitely give, like, personally, my favorite is Dollar Days and 'Tis a Pity She Was a Whore. Those are two pretty good ones that I recommend.
In fact, now that I think about it, let me step back right here. Let me get the album cover, because I think freaking Lazarus was on my best hit of the album.
It's I need to pick up the best hits. I currently have Hunky Dory and Let's Dance.
That's that's the Proto Man album, final album I got.
Hey, Vendetta.
What up, yo?
Do you
like jazz?
I like jazz. It has to be good jazz, kind of like the bebop intro.
I'm trying to remember that fucking band's name, because I also, if you do like jazz, they're really good. It's just David Bowie. Like, it's David Bowie without the lyrics.
Is that the title of this podcast? Please tell me. I mean, I'm in charge of titling the podcast, so yes, it is.
You like jazz?
I knew what happened. I knew that. And the second you fucking replied that, I knew I'm the title of the podcast.
You like jazz? He's so kind.
I'm so glad my friends don't know this exists.
I told one friend about it, and he called me names.
You like jazz?
He like, I don't remember who was on. I think it was Hedge. He made fun of Hedge's accent for like 10 minutes straight.
Wow, that's mean.
It was
Hedge
the best.
That's just mean.
That's just mean. I mean,
Hedge from Narnia.
Hey, I never.
Is he?
I think he's racist against Narnians.
He was listening earlier.
He keeps joining and then leaving. It makes me sad.
Because he's a loser.
I think it's around here.
He's a loser.
He doesn't like jazz.
He wants his bottle.
So yeah, the only album the only song that was on the album that was on the Greatest Hits album was Sue or In a Season of Crime.
Man, Sue's good.
His Greatest Hits album has side 1 is like the best. Has Let's Dance, Ashes to Ashes, Heroes, Changes in Life on Mars.
Ashes to Ashes is one of my favorites because it follows. I guess there was a story built upon from Space Oddity about Major Tom that's continued through Ashes to Ashes, and I think it's finished.
Yeah, Side 2, Space Oddity, Starman, Ziggy Stardust, the Genie, and Rebel.
Gosh, they're so good. And it's like, it's crazy to me. Like, I'm actually really surprised that he's, considering like Black Star's been out for 2 years now. I'm still kind of amazed that he's still winning awards for that fucking song. But even though I get the Grammys, back to the Grammys. I don't know.
The album was released only last year, on the 8th of January.
Was it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it would be. It would be last year.
He just died 2 days after it released.
Yeah. I don't know.
Cancer.
My issue there. That's the title.
Fucking Aslan.
Freaking cancer.
What a bitch.
I feel like with the Grammys, I don't know. I guess in this regard, I'm kind of a hipster because I listen to a lot of like smaller bands that probably never be known by.
I think that's the thing. Like, people need to like. That's not an insult anymore. Like, that shouldn't be a joke anymore. Like, people like to listen to music that other people might have not. Like, people get tired of listening to the same thing over and over again.
Yeah,
guys, the Protomen is the greatest prog rock band you will have ever hear.
Never heard of them. Hipster.
They're a band
You're a hipster.
You're a hipster. You're a hipster.
They're a band
Harry.
they're a band that does that tells the Mega Man story through a prog rock album. Think of In the Core of the Crimson King, but about Mega Man.
That's fucking awesome. I didn't know that. I didn't ever think I never imagined that being a thing.
See, that's the shitty thing, because like I listen to a lot of really old music just because that's what I grew up on. That's what my dad plays a ton of that, and he's a big fan of that. So I grew up listening to that. And I remember one day in high school, I was just sitting next to this guy that I'd known for a couple of years, and he's like, I was listening to something. He's like, "What are you listening to?" And I was like, "Oh, something." He's like, "Oh, you're one of those hipster guys that likes old music." And I was like, "I'm a hipster." I got really upset.
Wait, no, that's weird because the opposite. I've actually been told that I was too mainstream for listening to shit like AC/DC.
What?
It's on the opposite.
Not now. I mean, maybe back in the day it'd have been mainstream, but it's not mainstream anymore.
I guess
I don't know anyone listen to AC/DC consistently.
I don't know. That's still pretty mainstream, especially in the South.
I feel like classic rock is still pretty mainstream, but it's like I don't know if that's like a thing though. Like classic rock is just like.
I mean, I've been listening to Kenny Loggins.
Fucking Kenny Loggins.
Sort of, I'm a hipster.
Something danger zone.
Playing with the boys.
Oh man,
I've been listening to a lot of the Who lately, but they don't have a greatest of album. They don't have a greatest of album
they're
on
20s. They're from the 1920s.
The Who. They are not from the 20s. They're from the 60s and 70s.
Dude, they're from the 1920s. God,
you're too mainstream, V. You're too mainstream.
Shut up! I'm too mainstream from the 1920s.
You're a hipster.
The Who. I remember they were in the Super Bowl. I was like, God,
they were in the Super Bowl.
Get these grandpas out.
Yeah, it was a couple years ago.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know they were still together.
Terrible. They look awesome.
Technically, I wouldn't say they're together because their drummer died years ago.
Oh.
But I guess they just came back and played again.
Huh.
But they don't have a greatest of album on Google, or I think ever. So I can't. I think I'm just gonna pirate one of their albums or like a couple of good songs to make a best of album.
Oh no, V gets a pass. He has no.
And I'll just go to YouTube and I'll YouTube to MP3 and that's it.
I have a record player.
They don't make money off of that anymore.
What I was saying is like they probably make money, but I actually have a record player that basically like it has like an attachment underneath that's I can put cassettes.
What's like the song from the Who? That's the thing.
The Who, either Baba O'Reilly or
Behind Blue Eyes.
You know, everybody knows Behind Blue Eyes.
Okay, so
there's a couple others that I really like.
I've been like on an 80s music kick.
Yeah.
Like, I've been trying to get 80s music.
80s?
Yeah,
I can sort of help you there.
Yeah, see the thing though. I have like a certain liking of the 80s music. Like there's a certain like I don't like all I want synth piano. I want that.
Oh, you should listen to my parents grew up in the 80s and sometimes I listen to some of that stuff. There's like what's that guy
If you say George Michael,
no, not George Michael. It's not George Michael. There's a song that's like "Angels in the Centerfold" that my parents listen to all the time. That's a really good song. That song. That's a really good one. I like that one.
That was.
I like. What's that? There was a guy that was
Eric Giles band.
No.
It was the Jay Gills band.
Thank you.
That must be it. There's another guy.
Synth piano? That has synthetic
Sort
piano?
of.
Angels in the Outfield.
I think
What about
so.
like Van Halen Dreams?
Van
That
Halen?
kind of
Ooh,
rock.
Van Halen's good.
I like Van Halen.
So the Proto Men, BCD, the Proto Men have an entire album of nothing but 80s covers, and it's all based around the story of the film based off of the original Mega Man game.
I can appreciate that.
There was a guy that was going to be super popular in the 80s. He was like a pop rock guy. And then I guess like...
Gary Glitter.
No. People thought he was gay or something. And that was... Oh, Billy Squire, I think. People
Oh,
thought he was gay or something. And it kind of tarnished his reputation. He was...
Wait.
I like Billy Squire. I also like Billy Idol.
Billy Idol.
Billy Idol
Why
is
did
amazing.
everyone was worried about their gay? Most of the rock stars dressed up like they were gay.
Dude,
Yeah,
Mick Jagger's
it's just-
super gay.
Yeah, no, he fucked David Bowie, and David Bowie.
But Mick Jagger's super cool, though.
No, I mean, yeah, you could be gay and cool. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, just look at
Anyone
the
seen
got
hair
him.
metal people?
The little people? The little
hair
people or the
metal.
village people?
You could listen to whatever the Rolling Stones put out in the 80s, I guess.
The question is, what is your favorite Billy Idol song?
Billy Idol song?
Yeah.
Is it White Wedding or Start Again, whatever thing? That's Billy Idol, right?
Yeah, White Wedding.
There's
What's the
another
one
one.
that
I know I'm
it's really
forgetting it.
popular, but everyone shits on.
I'll look up Billy Idol songs, because I know Billy Idol songs, but I don't remember the name.
I could,
Billy Idol. He's the vampire from Buffy, right?
Jesus Christ. Get out of here.
Okay, well, I guess on that,
Rebel Yell's really good.
yeah,
Rebel
Rebel-
Yell's good.
I guess on that Buffy reference, we have to end it because Buffy is not allowed to be talked on
Sure,
the
we'll do
podcast.
Buffy.
Billy, I'm trying to remember what Billy. See, I'm, like, whenever someone says Billy Idol or Billy Squire, I
Okay,
think
so-
of Billy Joel.
So everyone,
Billy the Piano Man.
Yeah.
I think so. Everyone's homework is to there's a music chat in games and music on Community Byte. Just give me all your 80s music. Just send YouTube links.
Listen to Pink Floyd, the album right after their bassist
No,
left.
it's not your
what's it called?
Your homework is to
Yes, it is. Yeah, this
Copy-
is the homework. I'm finishing it right now.
No,
This is
you
like
copy
finish the
and
homework as
paste
quick
it.
as possible.
No, you copy and paste it into music, and then you're done.
I'm just
That's
not
your-
going to turn my homework in.
Okay.
I forget what it's called
You
again.
go to 0.
Shit.
Shit.
Thank
you, Xuelder.
I don't know. Like, most of the 80s stuff I know is pretty, like, well known. All the unknown stuff that I listen to is, like, mid-2000s, 90s punk and folk.
Folk. Shout out to folk. Shout out to my
BCD, would you
banjo.
like a more traditional rock song or a more?
I'm telling you, all
like,
it needs
less
is
mainstream?
synthetic piano, and I'm good.
I don't know. Maybe one of them has. Actually, yeah, one does have synthetic piano. I think.
Then you're
Prince.
good.
I think I've never listened to Prince, but I'm sure he has synthetic piano.
Oh, I'm sure he does too. And shout out to folk. And shout out to my banjo in my closet I haven't played in like a year.
What about heavily modified guitar that sounds sort of like piano?
That's fine. Fuck you. Fuck you. Whoever did that. Fuck you, Xuelder.
Dude, not gonna lie, I like that song. I really like the Rickroll song.
Okay, we're
Never
ending
Go.
this podcast.
I like that
God
song.
damn it.
Hey, it has synth piano.
Thank you all for
Cartridge
joining.
must be destroyed.
Have a beautiful week. Until next Sunday.
Bet on it.
And
See ya.
cartridge must be destroyed.